Yo, I'm Miles Cosmo. Some of you may know me, some of you may not. This is going to be posted on my YouTube channel, so presumably people who watch this channel will know who I am already. I just released an album. It's called Curated Garbage. It's part 1 of 3. The other 2 parts will be following very soon. And I just kind of wanted to talk about it just for a sec. I've released a lot of albums over the years. I've been making music for, probably since I was properly since I was 18 or something. And I'm 35, so you know, it's been a while. I guess there's been some breaks in there. And I'm trying to count my albums. What is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's a few. You can go to my website or my Bandcamp. My website is milescosmo.com. My Bandcamp is milescosmo.bandcamp.com. If you want to check out my other albums. As an artist, as a musician, I always feel like the current thing I've just done is the best thing I've ever done, and everything before that is kind of just garbage. But you shouldn't listen to me. You should definitely not listen to me. I'm pretty sure there's some good stuff back there as well. Maybe not as mixed well, maybe not as mastered as well, but you know, whatever. But anyway, current album, Curated Garbage. It's totally instrumental, which is usually what I do. I usually make instrumental electronic music. I have released a few albums which have vocals on them. Usually when I'm sad, that's what I do, is I write songs. So the albums which I do have, which have vocals, are kind of just sad. They're just sad albums. And if you want to listen to a sad album, I've got you covered. But yeah, the new one, it's kind of just a collection of songs from the past, say, year and a few months. I do feel like they work together. I do feel like they're cohesive. I do feel like there is a through line. Certainly for me there is, even if it's just from a technical standpoint, like techniques I'm using, equipment that I'm using, that kind of thing. But I also just think, you know, sonically and musically, and emotionally even, there's definitely a thread. I wouldn't say that there's a theme though. It's kind of just it just represents my life over the past year and a bit. And some of that has been shit, some of that has been good. It's been a bit of a roller coaster. So I feel like some of the songs represent that. Some of them are quite exuberant and fun. Some of them are just kind of depressing. But in a good way, because I like that kind of thing. I like sad music. I like music that makes you feel, even if it's a sad feeling. So, what else can I say about it? I used these 2 machines a lot on the record, as I always do. Machine drum, beautiful piece of hardware. I love it for beats. So digital, so punchy, so fat, so crunchy. It's really great. Mono machine, same deal. That's why they're sort of sat next to each other. They're very, they look exactly the same. So of course they're gonna look good on the desk like that, but also they just sound, like they're brothers or sisters, for that matter. I did actually use the kick a little bit. That's a pretty stupid place to put that at the moment. The Volca FM is supposed to be sitting up there as well. None of it's connected. I'll have to rearrange that at some point. Use this guy a lot, definitely. Use the Octatrack a lot. I use the Octatrack probably more than anything else. It is an amazing piece of kit, and if you've watched any of my YouTube videos, you will know that. Beautiful piece of hardware. I only just got this, so it doesn't really, recently got it, so it doesn't really feature on the record. It's featuring on almost everything I'm working on right now, but it doesn't really feature on Curated Garbage. This guy though, features on every single track, and the reason is, if not in the writing process, which some of the tracks do, feature it. I used it for mastering as well. So every track has run through the heat. Got some Ensoniq keyboards over there, definitely use them as well, although not as much as on previous records. But I also used a bunch of software synths and plugins, as I always do. I used a free FM synth called Dext, which is really excellent. I prefer it to like FM8, which I also have, even though it's probably like it's not as full featured. I just feel like it's easy to use, and I don't know, something about FM8 I just don't like. I don't know what it is. I'm sure people won't agree with me there, but something about it. Maybe it's the sound, maybe it's just the layout, the GUI. Native Instruments, certainly in the past, I don't feel like have been excellent at graphical user interfaces. Although I'm sure people will disagree with that as well. Use sound toys heaps. I use Decapitator a lot. Before I got the Analog Heat, Decapitator was my everything. I used it on so many things. But when I got this guy, I still use it, but it's sort of like picking and choosing between the two as to which is right for the job at hand. I use a free software synth called PG. What's it called? I can't remember what it's called, but it's basically a JX8P in software form, or an MKS70 for that matter, which I used to have. It looks like a PG800, which was the controller for those two synths. It sounds very authentic to me, and I consider I used to have one. I think that I have some authority in saying that it sounds a lot like the hardware. As does this sound a lot like an SH101 when it's in 101 mode. So yeah, I use a synth called Kaivo a lot, which is Madrona Labs. It's like a granular physical modeling synth. It's real interesting synth. I use it for plucks a lot because it's really interesting. And I use it in conjunction with FM synths to get plucks and stuff. Good stuff, excellent synth. I don't really know why I'm listing all the shit I used. Like, do you really care? Maybe you care, I don't know. Part of the reason I wanted to make this video though is because I'm an independent artist. I'm not part of a record label or anything. I don't have any help with any of this stuff. I'm certainly not asking for money by making this video. I just want people to know what goes into this, you know? Like, I release records probably once a year, maybe EPs sometimes between them. I started a YouTube channel probably about a year ago, or no, a bit more than a year, 2 years ago maybe, and I upload videos almost weekly, I would say. I spend a lot of time working on music. I spend stacks of time. I work a full-time job. I come home from that job. I often just make music. If I'm not making music, I'll be like mixing something. If I'm not mixing something, I'll be making a YouTube video. If I'm not making a YouTube video, I'll be like uploading something to Bandcamp, you know, like administrative shit. I'll be like working on my website or something. It takes up a massive part of my life, and I also spend a lot of money on it. Not just on equipment and stuff like that, but on things like getting my albums on Spotify. I used to get CDs done as well. I'm not even gonna fuck around with that anymore. That's completely pointless now. Some people like CDs, of course, but like nobody really cares. I feel like if I could afford to get vinyl done, people would love that. But that's a massive outlay. So I'm telling you this because I've been thinking a lot recently about how the internet facilitates people being extremely entitled. And what I mean by saying that is that I have spent, you know, not quite half my life, but a large portion, many years of my life, working to make money to buy equipment. Then once I have that equipment, spending hours upon hours upon hours upon hours upon years even learning it and like inside and out, for my own personal benefit and for my own enjoyment. That's what I like to do, and it's also for my music. There's a reason behind it. There's a drive behind it, and it frustrates me that people don't either understand that or believe that, or God, I don't even know. Expect that, I guess, for themselves when it comes to making music for themselves. Like, yes, the internet's an amazing tool. I've used the internet, like, the internet has allowed me to learn and teach myself. But I have rarely posted on a forum asking how to do something. I've often read forums because somebody maybe has posted there before, maybe asking the same thing, or just, to get a general idea of things. But what I do time and time again, if I don't know something, is I fucking read the manual, And I know that that's like the classic thing, read the fucking manual. But I wouldn't say it angers me, because I don't want to seem like some fucking ivory tower motherfucker sitting up here being like, oh, you just haven't put the work in and everything. Like, I'm happy to answer questions. I'm happy to tell people what I know. More than happy. But it's the attitude behind it. Like, I've had people ask me with my YouTube videos, oh, do you make money off these? Like, no, I don't fucking make money off them. I mean, like, I do it for my own enjoyment. I do it because I feel like some people might get something out of it. And with my albums, like, it costs me more money to make them, easily more, than it does that I make from them, Like, being an independent artist, you just don't make money. Like, you'd have to, obviously people do, you can, but I'm not popular enough. And I'm not like bitter about that. I don't even care anymore. I used to be really annoyed about that. I used to think that like I had enough talent talent, I hate that word, but I used to think I had enough like ability. I guess like a good enough ear and songwriting ability and whatever, that I should, be popular in some way. But I don't care anymore. Like, I'm over that. All I care about is making music for myself. And when it comes time to release that music, I want people to listen to it. Of course I do. Like, I have an ego. I have, I have a need to know if people like it, of course. But I also recognize at this stage that that's it's almost irrelevant. Like, I spent the time to make the record. It's a personal achievement for me. And I'm proud of it. And being proud of it and whatever, that's kind of enough at some point. If people tell me they like it, cool. That's great. I like that too. So where am I going with this? I guess I just want to express that, like, somebody like myself in my position, there's no gain other than artistic. That's the only gain, is an artistic gain. And what I tell people when I say that I'm a musician, they'll always ask me like, oh, do you release stuff? Do you play gigs? And I do both of those things. Yes. I don't make any money from them, or very little. But the thing that I always tell them is that I see my music as my life's work. Like, I want to die. When I die, I want to look back on my life and I want to be like, look at all that music I made. Look at all of that art that I made. Because I can leave that behind. Like, maybe nobody will care about it, but it's something. It's something that I can leave behind, and it's something that I can be proud of. And that's ultimately all that matters to me at this point. So yeah, I don't want my music or anybody else's music, independent or otherwise, to be valued on whether or not it is quote-unquote successful, whether or not they made a buck from it. Because that's not what it's about. That's not what art's about. Art is about touching other people, and it's about touching yourself. And I don't mean that in a hilarious sexual way, which I'm sure people will think I mean. Yeah, and also another thing, and this is not me being bitter at all, like this is just a reality, I think, is because I'm so self-motivated to do this, because I put out records already, because I record everything myself, because I produce everything myself, because I write and master and whatever, like I do it all on my own. I think labels, like net labels, small independent labels, whatever, I don't think that they want to approach me or to ask to have my music on their label because they see that I'm already doing it, and that maybe they don't have anything to offer me, which kind of sucks because I used to feel like that's how you think that you've like made it in some way. And of course a label can help you as well in a variety of ways, even a small one. But at this point I've kind of just realized that like I do have a label, it's mine. My music is released on it, I run it, I do it all. And like I would actually kind of happily release other people's music as well, but I don't know if I have the time to go looking for it. Like I spend so much time making my own music and producing it and putting it out there, that to then be like, oh, now I have to go find other people's music that sort of, jives with what I do enough that it can be on my label and everything. Like, maybe I'm just being a fool. Maybe I should do that. But I guess the point I'm making is that it's a lot of work, and I'm such a fucking like isolated hermit-like individual. That it's hard for me to sort of branch out in that way, and it's also hard for me to like ask to be on other people's labels. Like I've tried to do that before, it's kind of soul destroying because it makes you feel like your music is shit, even though if you don't think it actually is. That's what you end up often thinking because nobody wants to put it on their label. And I know for a fact that my music isn't shit. I used to think that I needed other people's validation to believe that, but I don't anymore. I only need my own, and I 100% know that it's not shit. I know that it's very good. I also know that it doesn't always fit into the confines of genres, which is kind of what people are looking for often when they're making a label, is they're making a label for a subgenre or something like that. And I'm not saying that my music is so like high and mighty and whatever that it can't fit on a label. Of course it totally can, but I often think that it is just a little bit, it incorporates a lot of different genres, I think, a lot of the time. And that's to my own detriment, but I also just know that that's how I make music. That's what I do. And it's never going to be in any other way, and I'm lying to myself when I try and be another way. And I feel like in the past I totally have tried to be a different way. So to wrap that up, that rambling nonsense that you probably just listened to, I just kind of want to express to people that I released an album and I'm proud of it, and there are 2 more parts of that album coming soon, and that you should listen to it. But I'm also just saying this is fucking hard. It's hard to do, and it's hard to stay motivated to do it. And it's not that I want credit for that. I just want people to understand that. And there's nobody patting you on the back for shit. And if you're on a forum asking how to do some mundane shit about some equipment you just bought, not knowing anything about it, then you open that fucking manual and you read that shit. Do what other people do. Learn, Nobody's gonna hold your hand. And to this day, nobody holds my fucking hand. If I want to do something, I have to do it myself. And if I don't do it myself, it doesn't get done. Simple as that. So listen to my album. Listen to my other albums that have been released for years now, if you want to. Check out my YouTube channel. Yeah. And Rant. See you later.